Hello. Welcome to Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 397. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
Why'd you look at me like that?
I was just really afraid you were going to say hello really loudly, and she was just going to go.
Oh, dude, thank God.
Yeah.
We've got a sleeping child right now,
Right under the camera.
and we hope she stays sleeping.
Mm-hmm. So let's get this rolling.
Let's go.
No chit-chat today.
Okay. What are we talking about then?
What are we tutoring about?
Yeah. I thought we were going to do a talk episode.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a talk that's kind of like a tutor.
Oh, but no chit-chatting?
I guess we can chit-chat. For some reason, I thought we discussed a topic, and we didn't.
discussed two topics.
We did?
Yeah.
And?
You were the one that told me about the topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did I say?
You don't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about, babe.
Yeah, shocker. All right, hold on. I took pictures of it because I knew this would happen. All right, so bink, 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 ding, 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 boom, boom.
Oh, when I was going through episodes, were you like, oh yeah, we'll just like touch up on those?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Slowing down and enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
Intentional with who you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had some stuff that I was reading.
Yeah. So it would be like a talk tutor. We just, it's been a busy week, and we just didn't have time to prepare anything for you. So instead of giving you a half-ass product, we'll just kind of hang out.
Give you a half-ass product.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I've noticed two things. One, with a baby or a kid, you tend, it seems like you have, seems like we're going out and doing less.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have a kid, we just have like that much more going on.
Mm-hmm. I feel, yeah, like I have more time but less time.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That is my point exactly. Like we've got more time, but then when we're at home, so much of it's spent with the kid doing kid shit, aka your titties in her mouth.
Literally, yeah.
That a lot of shit doesn't get done.
Mm. Yeah, so like we have been waiting to do this episode for the past hour and a half. But someone was on my tit for an hour and a half.
Yeah, them yitters were doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let's see here.
I will say this is something I brought up to you yesterday that I think is a very important point to think about. And I just got reminded by Shaun and I were scrolling through some of our old episodes. And one of the episodes we did was about like building habits or something. Whatever. And or talking about our downfalls or whatever. And it was from January of 2021 or June of 2021, whatever. Either way. And in there, we're talking about how our phones are our biggest distraction. And we must have, by the end of the podcast, just realized that the phones are the only reason we're not further than what we are. And then now, because I was just looking at like the bullet points, and that was what was on there. And so now I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like, where could we be if 4 years ago I would have listened to my fucking advice?
Yes, 100%.
And we were talking about this because we were on a walk yesterday, and I was like thinking about it. I had started working out with my family right before I met Shaun, or a couple months before I met Shaun, and they all stopped, but I kept going, mainly because of Shaun. But it's just like interesting to think about. Like that was 8.5 years ago. Like where would my family be if they would have kept working out for those 8.5 years? It'd be totally different worlds. Because 2 out of the 3 of them have back problems right now.
Right.
Because they're overweight.
And one of them's just got health problems.
Yeah. And
they're all not healthy.
Right. But yeah. And do that with your own life. Like, think about that. Like, I started this habit 4 years ago, or I thought about changing this one part about me 3 years ago, but then you never did. Well, where could you be now if you would have done those things?
Crazy. I do think I think about that because I thought about starting wrestling and learning how to fight. I thought about doing that my junior year of high school.
And then instead
my cousin Shaun tried getting me to, Corey tried getting me to, and instead I just kept lifting. Fast forward, I decided to start doing that stuff.
14 years later.
No.
12.
Like 11 years later, because I started like 3 years ago. But yeah. Crazy, dude. When it's like, what would my level be if I would have started 14 years ago?
Dude, also what just popped up on my Facebook memories was 13 years ago, I was going to orientation for UWEC.
Jesus. That's crazy. But you want to know what?
What?
Everything happens for a reason. And so then you got to start today. Look at it, ask yourself, like, what the fuck? And start today. So I went golfing yesterday with the boys. Nick, Kyle, Blake. It was great. Nick and I walked. And so as we're going, him and I were just chatting about different things, right? Different things, like whatever. So I have next to me the discipline God.
Literally.
The fucking discipline God. Okay? You want to know some of his techniques to do it?
Yes.
When he gets real, like when he is hurting. Because I'm like that. Like, you're fucking on it all day long. How? So he's religious, right? Catholic. He's got his rosary, you know? There's a couple things he's done. One, on Instagram, he has unfollowed and like put like, I'm not interested in this content on everything that's not self-development and faith. Got rid of everything else.
That's awesome.
So then if he goes on his phone to be a bum and he starts scrolling, it's just
all motivational and faith-based.
Exactly. So then he's like, fuck, I got to like get back on my shit, right? I got to get like, I'm wasting my time scrolling. I got to get back on my shit, right? I'm like, fuck, that's genius. And he got a small rosary. You know, they have their rosary. He got a small rosary. He put it on his keychain. So now anytime he's like, you know, gets in the funk, gets distracted, isn't going to do what he's had planned to do, he looks at his rosary and he starts a prayer. Not a prayer of asking, but a prayer of thanks. Thanking God for everything he has. Thanking God for the life he has, his health, his family, his ability, his work ethic. Boom. And like that gets him in the right headspace to do what he needs to do. And I'm just like, fuck, Dad, that makes sense, right? So then what have I been doing the last day? I get angry pretty easy. I get angry real easy.
Lately, yes.
So then, boom, as soon as I get a little aggression, I just took a book out of old Hazy and I just started praying, being thankful for what I got. And then immediately just brings me back down to like low levels of anger. And then move forward.
Want to know something really interesting?
Sure.
Probably in about August or September,
Okay.
I was really terrified.
Sure. For having a kid.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Terrified. Absolutely terrified. And then I was like also like freaking out. It's probably part of the reason why I kept waking up at 4 a.m., but whatever. I like would start freaking out about like thought, you know, some robbers are going to come like kill us in our house, or,
Interesting.
you know, maybe like,
Probably had nothing to do with your hormones at the time. Keep going.
oh yeah, no, not at all. They probably weren't raging. Or just like random stuff like that. So then like I started before going to bed, like praying and thanking God for everything. And it only took like 2 weeks, and then I like stopped having all those fears.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. And you and I have talked about this for years. Years. There was a stint in my life where I just threw religion out the door. I was like, I'm an atheist. None of this stuff is real, right? And I would say, what year is it? 2025? 2019? 2019, I think. Mid to end. Maybe right in the beginning of 2020. I don't remember. I started noticing something. I followed a lot of dudes on a lot of like wealthy people.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to get better at business, so I was really like consuming a lot of successful people's content.
Yeah.
And something you and I talked about, we were like, is it possible to be very successful without faith? And from what you and I concluded back then, and why I've since become more faithful, is I don't believe it's possible. Like,
I think it helps put your mind in a more positive space.
Right.
Because we talked about that, like, those people have like so much like, I don't remember if it was like drive or something, that they have to put their faith in something. Like they needed to have something to like for them to focus on, and for them to like be like, this is the reason that all of this is happening.
Right.
And but I do think now, I didn't say this then, but now I'm thinking it. I think it does put you in a better mindset.
Yeah, because what would Haas have to keep him disciplined? How would the motherfucker get up after 5 hours of sleep?
Right.
And fucking go squat in the 500s? Like, what? What? At 5 a.m.? What else is getting him to do that?
Right. Not much.
Not much, dude.
But think about it too, like, so many of those like heavy religious people, when anything bad happens, they like thank God for like this event in my life to teach me blah 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 and blah blah blah.
Right.
They look at it as such a positive thing, even though it is like
not.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think it's like, I know it's possible to be successful.
Keep going.
Did it turn off? I know it's possible to be successful, but I don't, like, the way I look at it, I don't know if it's possible or is probable to be like happy in your success. Like, a lot of those people seem to be driven by the right things. They seem to do the right things for their family and others. It doesn't seem to be like, a lot of the faith driven people don't seem to be dirt balls per se. Sam is really trying to keep a baby occupied. Are you having any luck? Okay, good. Let me see here. What else we got? So I think, maybe I don't know, that for myself lately, Sam and I over the last couple of years have been doing gratefuls every night, which helps you go to bed in a positive mindset. So I get the idea of why it works really well throughout points in your day when you're gonna slack, or maybe you get upset or whatever it is, to hit those gratitudes, hit those thankfuls to keep you on the right track.
Yeah, and I think just like having that thing, like it doesn't even have to be like the Christian God.
Right.
Like
Right.
just believing in something is the reason that these things are happening. I think just really helps, puts you in a different mindset.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because like very easily, right? Like you can just thank the world or thank the moons, thank the stars, thank Zeus, whatever. But I think if you have that strong connection to it and really believe in it, and like especially being thankful for whatever comes at you, it's just really good to put your mind in that positive way.
And this all makes a ton of sense. Why they've done such a good job, or why their goal was to get faith out of society.
Mm-hmm.
Faith and religion out of society. Because like we watched the chart of how prevalent faith was.
Yeah.
Like, what was that, 60 years ago?
Yeah.
To now, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, dude, with that, you've got a purpose. You've got a reason. You've got people really looking for the betterment of other people and the betterment of society. Now you don't have that.
And it really reminds you of your why, I think, too. Especially when you pray, because like you can remind yourself of like why you're doing things, because you can pray to be like I don't know, show me the way to make Shaun proud of me, I don't know,
Sure.
or whatever. Like it just can really remind you, and they do it every day, so you're drilling all of that into your head of why you're thankful,
Right,
what you're working towards, what you want in life, and it really instills that in your brain and helps you probably visualize it. Oh my God, this makes so much sense.
makes a lot of sense, dude. Not what we came here to tutor on today, but what you're getting is this.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoy it.
And Shaun and I, like, we're not very religious people, but the more I talk about this, the more it makes sense of why successful people are faithful.
Yeah, I mean, I recently started reading the Bible. It's kind of neat. It's kind of interesting.
Is it? Is it actually?
No. It's so, I'm just getting through all the, the intro, getting through all the people and all the stuff. It's, haven't gotten into any like the lessons yet, which I'm looking forward to getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't know. Something I want to do, something I want to read. And I've been, I tried going to a church a couple years ago. A few years ago, didn't enjoy the experience, but like going to the church I grew up going to over Easter was nice. If that was around, if we had something like that, I would definitely attend a lot more.
I like the old school churches. I hate the new shit.
Are you saying like the old churches where it's about church and not about? I guess I don't know what you're saying. You're gonna have to explain it to me. And
I don't like the sing-songy.
The singy-songy churches, where they're like the mega churches. Yeah, I'm not. I don't do that shit. I don't like that stuff. Yeah, because there's some of those churches where, oh my God, dude, when I was in basic training, you could go to a church service, right? You got Sundays off for church. And you didn't get Sundays off. You got your church service you could go to, right? So we go to the church service, and I went twice. Once at basic, maybe twice at basic, once at AT. And it's so terrible that I was like, I'm better off just praying or just not even caring about this, because it was seriously like a punk band jamming, singing about God, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. Not for me.
A punk band?
Dude, I'm telling you, they're like jamming guitar.
Yeah,
They're like
and
singing and shit.
I don't like those. I like
Oh,
just
dude.
the organ singing the songs of the book.
That's it, dude.
I like just the old school. And I don't know if it's just because, so my church growing up, we had 2 different services, right? We had the 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. one or whatever. So the 8 a.m. was the traditional, like,
Yep.
it was mainly old people. And
the
that was
best.
the one I always went to.
The best.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like curious if that's why I prefer that, but I definitely prefer that.
Yeah, I'm just not one. I never been a big fan of the whole like fucking jamming tunes and shit about stuff.
No. Did you ever go to like a church camp thing? No. For confirmation, we had to go to this church event. I don't know. We were in middle school, so it just blows my mind they let us do this. And so we went to the cities, and it was at, I don't even know where we went. Some religious school, I think, and we were in their gym, and it was just like pretty much like an all-day church seminar thing. I don't know. And then we spent the night there. We slept in the gym.
Yeah.
Like on the floor.
Yeah.
They don't do that as kids anymore.
Is that right?
No, I don't think so.
We did that in the military a lot.
Well, that's military different.
Huh. You grabbing child or what?
No, her eyes are closed right now. So
Nice.
I don't want to see what happens.
All right, we'll move on from this. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty neat lesson.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm reading, well, I'm not actively reading. It's just kind of there. Napoleon Hill, one of the lessons he talks about is applied faith.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it makes sense that that's like up there.
Yeah, so let's move on. We'll keep it. So we tend to be, me more so, tend to like to work.
Yeah.
Tend to be busyaholics. And you brought up slowing down and enjoying life more.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been getting sent from friends and stuff and talked to I talked to a lot of folks farther down the line than me.
Yeah.
Whether it be just like family, career, whatever. I talked to a lot of folks down the line. I'm going to put it this way. I talked to a lot of folks with a lot of different careers. Some that make significantly more money than me. Some that make quite a bit less.
Yeah.
Some that are great at their crafts and some that are meh. Okay? I just like talking to people. Almost all of them has said to me, how are you enjoying it? And I'm like, it's good. Whatever. It's like fun. And they're like, slow down. Enjoy it. Because it goes by fast and you're going to regret working through it. Almost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if they make a lot more than me. Doesn't matter if they make less. Doesn't matter their career. Doesn't matter their craft. Almost every dude farther down the line than me is like, hey, they're only that small for a real short period. Enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what someone today, even, I think it might have been your grandmother, mentioned about how, like right now, like obviously we're working on like setting her up to start crawling and talking and all these things. As she's just chittering down there right now. I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Talk to people, setting.
Oh, but like soon, like right now is the fun part because we can set her on the floor and like we can just like babble with her and all these fun things. And she's like, just wait, once they start crawling, then they start getting in things. And then once they start talking, you just tell them they need to shut up. And I just thought it was funny. She's like, you spend all this time teaching him how to walk and talk, but the rest of the time you tell them to get out and shut up.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
And so it kind of like hit me today because like, yeah, I can just have her lay on the floor and babble with her and not have to worry about her. But probably in 6 months, well, less than that, we'll have a crawler that we'll have to.
Oh, yeah.
No, stay away from that.
Right. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go very fast from being like chilling to discipline.
Yep.
Yeah, so slow down, enjoy it to make it worth it, I guess. And you know, I was talking to another friend about this today. As men, we are wired to be providers.
Mm-hmm.
And as a provider, you provide and protect, right? So you bring home the bread to the family, you protect the family, etc. Okay. So it's hard for a man. It's more hard for a man. And let me preface it with this. It's more hard for a man with high test.
Yes.
Okay, this is very important. I'm not talking about the current day man. I'm talking about a man with high test. Today's men, the normal, like average 20-year-old is the testosterone of what a 60-year-old man used to be. Okay? Track what I'm saying. A 20-year-old has the same test of what your grandfather is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So understand what I'm saying. We are not the same. So the guys who are like, I could be a stay-at-home dad, yes, get your test checked, buddy. You're probably in the 200 to 300s, okay? If not 100 is. We got a problem. A man with high test, it is going to be very difficult, or it will be more difficult, at least I believe, to accept maybe not providing as much. Except maybe, okay, maybe I gotta, like I know, let me put it this way. You go from grinding, working a lot of hours, especially blue collar guys, okay? Have kids. Now, all this overtime, all this extra stuff you're doing, you might have to cut some of that back. Maybe you have to take a different job. Maybe you have to take a pay cut, okay? You gotta remind yourself why, okay? You almost have to do a new, like, why? A new purpose, right? And that right there, if you were praying every day, would remind you why you did what you did. You know what I'm saying? But like, I know dudes, multiple dudes firsthand that were making real good money, that were the providers, that were the breadwinners, that ended up taking a back seat to their spouse or whatever so that they could then be home more, spend more time with the kids and stuff like that. And so if you can't remind yourself, if you can't be thankful for what you did and why you did it, it's going to be easy to become resentful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very.
You know, or like resentful, upset, missing, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Grass is greener. Mm-hmm. The grass is greener thing. It's like, no, you gotta be thankful. You gotta remind yourself why you did what you did.
Yeah. Focus on the 80% good, not the 20% bad.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you might not, and then the thing is, okay, if that's the situation, if you had to do those things, well, now it's time on your free time, the little you have, to build a new skill, to build a skill wherever you are, that will allow you to work as much as you want and get the income and be the provider you want to be,
Yeah.
And it might, I'm going to give you an example.
I mean, quickly, most likely you should do this before you have kids. But anyways.
Yes, but here's the caveat. Blue collar dudes, they go out working on the road, or they go out working and they're making 40, 50 plus an hour. Okay.
Oh, well, and then they decide to.
So you're working 40, 50 plus an hour. You're getting overtime. You're working 60 hours a week. You're on the road. You're getting per diems. You're a blue collar guy pulling in well in the 100,000s. You know what I'm saying? Like easy, easy, easy. And then you find a girl, you start having kids, and you realize real quick, fuck, I'm not home. Mm-hmm. I'm not helping my wife raise the kids. I'm not seeing the kids. I'm only seeing the kids on weekends, you know?
Yeah.
And like, fuck, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a problem. I'm not there to raise my kids.
Yeah.
So then you went from making 100 plus a year to now, you know, being a blue collar guy. You come back, you take your local maintenance job, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And you can just be the best freaking maintenance dude, and that's awesome. There's zero wrong with that. Being a jack of all trades is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a very good skill to have. What I'm getting at is this. If that bothers you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you leave that job, you're making great money. You come, you got to take a pay cut, but now you get to hang out with your kids all the time. You get to hang out with your wife all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. If you're good with that, good, awesome. Be the best you can be, right? I know dudes that bothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know dudes that bothers because they're like, well, blah, blah, blah. I used to make this much. Now I don't. My wife, whatever, makes more than me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if that's an issue for you, now it is your time to build a new skill set. Mm-hmm. And it's not too late. You know, if you were a blue collar guy and you understand, let's say you did construction, right?
Yeah.
You understand construction. You've built forever, okay? You could be an engineer. Mm-hmm. You know, you could go take a job as an engineer, or you could go be a project manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Like go. So in some places require degrees to project manage, some don't. But like, it doesn't have to be a complete different field, a complete different thing. It's just changing your focus, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe you're not in the field swinging a hammer anymore. Maybe you're in the office now. Maybe it takes you 5-6 years to do that, to get a degree or what, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you're the breadwinner again.
Right, yeah.
You're providing again. You know, work your way up. You got 10, 20, 30 years with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying for dudes.
That's a good option.
Yeah, for the guys that bothers, that's a good option for you. I know dudes, great guys, who did what I explained, went from just slaying the career, coming back, taking a local job so they could be the best dad. Some of the best dads I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, dude, that's awesome. Do that. Because all you have to do is switch the purpose. Mm-hmm. And even if you're a high test male that's very driven, if you're able to switch your purpose and you're able to pour your energy into that purpose, easy. Mm-hmm. You just, this is fucking stupid. And I don't mean it to be. It all just goes back to what we were saying earlier about being thankful.
Yeah.
That's it.
And just reminding yourself of that
That's
repeatedly.
it. Yep. It's just about having faith, it turns out.
Everything.
Yeah. So anyways, didn't mean to bring you there, but that's reality.
Wow. We just brought that full circle again. Mm-hmm. Wow. See, like, that's what, like, literally you brought that up, and I was just, like, thinking about it, and I was like, that's why they're successful, is because that's how they constantly remind themselves of what they're working for and towards and for who.
Well, dude, and so it's going to play right into enjoying your life, right? Like, keep tying it all together. Success is not always monetary.
Correct.
success a lot of the times, and it's easily tracked as monetary. But let me tell you what. Some people I know that don't make a killing or like very successful monetarily, some of them are very successful in life.
Mm-hmm.
Great family, great support system, good friends. They love their life.
Mm. Yeah, Sean and I discussed this on our way down to La Crosse when we were going to be on the Pay It Forward podcast.
Yeah.
Because they gave us like a list of questions that they may ask. And so one of them was like, how do you describe success?
Yeah.
And I said, by being happy.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm. And so he was trying to like caveat me on it. And I was just like, because he's like, well, you should be always like growing and working towards. And I was like, yes. And I was like, but like there's going to be people that are just happy to be worker bees. And we need worker bees.
Yeah. I still, yes.
He still wants to fight me on it.
I get it. Be happy. Okay, this is what I'll say, all right? Because I need a tighter definition on happy. Okay?
Yep.
Yes, be happy. Happy does not mean comfortable.
Correct.
Okay?
Yep.
Because, let me put it this way. I am happy when I sit on the couch and watch Netflix. While I sit on the couch and watch Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
If I do that every now and again, I'm happy. If I do that most nights for a week, because I've done it.
Mm-hmm. Then you instantly get mad because you're like, I wasted so much time.
At the end of the week, I'm not happy anymore. I was happy in the moment because I was comfortable. At the end of the week, I'm like, you fucking lazy loser. Mm-hmm. You're a faggot and you need to fucking shape up.
So, I mean, like, happy with 98% of your actions.
I just think happy but not comfortable.
Yeah.
Because, let me put it this way.
Yeah, because watching TV is comfortable and it makes you happy in the moment.
When I go to the gym.
I see that.
When I go to the gym, how many times do I come home from the gym and go, I didn't have fun? Mm-hmm. How many times do I come home from the gym and I regretted going to the gym?
Never.
It's not happened.
But going to the gym, you're not happy when you have to get up at 5:30 a.m. to go to the gym.
100%.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not happy because I'm comfy. But then when I'm uncomfortable, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Look at you go.
That's the only caveat I have to it. Be happy, but not comfortable.
I'm fine with that one.
All right, cool.
That you didn't bring up that specific way.
You gave me more time to think about it.
You did good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Do you remember when we started dating? You always asked me like, "What was my dream?" Or like, "What did I want for myself in the future?"
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what I used to say?
Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
All the time.
Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I just want to be happy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We succeeded if you didn't get the gist of that.
We didn't succeed. We are succeeding, but we have to keep succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't succeed. We didn't win the game.
No, we have not won the game yet.
You know what? We're just enjoying the game.
Mm-hmm. I just lost the game.
Why? I just lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Do you not know that game?
What are you talking about?
The game. We just lost. Oh my God, Sean. Do you not know about the game?
What are you talking about?
The game.
The game?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know what the game is?
Yeah, 100%.
No.
You're always playing. And whenever you think about it, you lose. Anyways.
What are you fucking talking about?
That was the game.
We're always playing, but when you think about it, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game.
Mm-hmm. So then when you think about it, you say, I just lost the game. Because then everyone else around you loses the game. You guys never played the game in high school?
This is my first time hearing it, dude.
Oh my God. I hope I hope Ryan and Eva message tomorrow and just tear you apart.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
If they don't know what the game is, I'm going to tear them apart.
I don't know what's happening. All right. So anyways, moving on to adult conversations.
Look up the game.
All right, dude.
And I bet you it'll tell you.
Keep going. Let's roll into the next thing.
What was the next thing?
So we had intentional with who you surround yourself with.
Ooh.
Do you want to do that one?
I mean, it's just the same thing
It's
about
shit.
surround yourself by positive people. If there's someone negative in your life, either cut them out, try to limit your time with them, but also probably let them know, because who knows? You could possibly change their mindset. I think that's an issue nowadays, is a lot of people don't really... A lot of people judge online, but they don't judge in the right way. Because they're not being, like, constructive with it. They just say, you suck because you're a Republican. You suck because you're a lib. Shit like that. But I do think, like, you could very strategically say, like, hey, like, I've noticed you've been kind of, like, negative. Like, is anything going on in your life? Can we make you more positive? You know, you could say it so nicely.
Sure.
And the more people we change to try to be more positive people, the better society is.
Yeah, for sure. Before I bring up the game,
Yeah.
I intentional with who you surround yourself with. Like I was saying earlier, I love to talk to people of all walks.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I enjoy just talking to people because I really love seeing the perspective of everyone, no matter what level they're at.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Because there's things you can take from all of them. They're not all good lessons. A lot of the times what you take from having conversations with people is, I don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
I don't want a life like them. I don't want an attitude like them. But there's a lot of people.
Good lessons to learn, though.
PBD says this, and I've heard other people say this too. Don't ask yourself what I want to be. Ask yourself, what do I definitely not want to be?
Yeah.
And then just start fucking making that list. Then on your way of like boom, 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 you'll be able to see a pattern. I don't want to be boom. And then you can be like, well, what's the opposite of that? Bink, 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 bink. Okay, here's my list of who I want to be. Especially for like careers.
That's so smart, because it is a lot easier to think of, like, I mean, like we've talked about it, like bosses. Like, what are some things that previous bosses have done that we don't want to do in our business? That's way easier to think of than what are some great things my previous bosses have done.
So if you think about that, because it's easier for us to think of negative than positive. So if we can, it's easier for humans to remember negative than positive.
That's actually not true.
That's not true. It's easier to remember positive, not negative. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. As I was saying it, I was like, that's not true.
No, but I think with bosses, for some reason, it's way easier for me to remember negative things than positive. I don't know why.
Okay. So going through, making a list of things like, I definitely don't want this. So then you can I'm going to tell you what, dude. My friend Brody, number 2 septic, he used to work for. I know that is one job. It does not matter. I would not want that job.
No.
I would do a lot of jobs before I do that job. You know what I'm saying? There's some jobs where I'm like, I would do a lot of jobs before. Dude, an engineer or design, I will literally fucking kill myself before I'm an engineer or designer. Like, that is so far from the level of an interesting job to me. I would rather just plummet face first off of a fucking building. So, like, it's easy for me to identify that, so I'm just doing the opposite shit to that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So anyways, that's why I like surrounding myself with people, is knowing people of all walks. And then a lot of the people you hang out with and whatever, you're like, well, that was fun. That was like not even fun. Like, that was good to talk to those people. I'm going to just do whatever I can to not spend time with them. Or that was like when I was golfing with Hazi, because I hang out with Kyle on the daily. I hang out with Blake every week during golf season, but I only hang out with Hazi once every other month.
Yeah.
Once a month. So I was like, golfing with him, I'm like, God, dude, every time I hang out with this dude, I'm like, I need to be intentional with hanging out with him more.
Yeah, you two used to be accountability partners, so you should kind of do that again.
We should do that again. Yeah. All right, here we go. The game, when you brought up the game, I thought of two things. One, the rapper, and two, the movie. And turns out to find this, you have to type in the game.
The game?
The game rules.
Interesting.
Okay, the game is a mind game in which the objective is to avoid thinking about the game itself. Thinking about the game constitutes as a loss, which must be announced each time it occurs. It is impossible to win most versions of the game. Depending on the variation, it is held that the whole world, or all those who are aware of the game, are playing it at all times. Tactics have been developed to increase the number of people who are aware of the game and thereby increase the number of losses.
You're welcome to the 30 of you that listen to us.
Oh my God, dude.
You are all now playing the game. So
the game is 1997 thriller mystery.
Interesting.
77% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 on IMDb. Not often you get the same rating.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Wow, that's cool.
I wonder if it's a lucky movie.
Interesting. What was the point of the movie, The Game? The game is to explore themes of control, identity, and the meaning of life, particularly for someone who has everything material but is emotionally empty. The film uses a seemingly surreal game as a metaphor for the protagonist's need to confront his own emotional numbness and find genuine connection. Ultimately, the film suggests that true fulfillment comes not from possessions or external experiences, but from introspection, empathy, and embracing vulnerability. Kind of like that movie. Is it She's All That? That Brooke always talks about?
I have no clue.
She's All That.
I'm not.
No. That's not it. The one with Richard Gere.
Oh, Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman. Yeah.
I don't know how I was able to pull that
I'm
out.
so proud of you, dude.
Here's a fun tidbit for you guys. I'm not a movie person.
Pretty Woman 1990. You don't get much freaking better.
The only reason I knew that was because Shaun made me watch that like 10 months ago.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
In 1990, Richard Gere.
We're not reading the synopsis of Pretty Woman.
In 1990, Richard Gere makes Pretty Woman with none other than Julia Roberts. Okay?
Cool.
In 1999, he's in Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts.
Damn.
That's pretty cool. So anyways, what were we talking about?
What was the game?
Oh, he's the rapper. The game.
There's a rapper named The Game?
The Game. Yeah, dude, check this homeboy out. He's pretty good. Has some good music.
45 years old. Interesting.
I listen to some of his shit. He's a stud.
So you're telling me your high school didn't play that, or do you just not remember because your memory is shit when it comes to things like that?
I bet you it's that one. I bet you it's that one.
Yeah, because it was always like so fun because someone just randomly like in class or at lunch would just be like, oh, I just lost the game, and then the whole table is just like, come on.
Damn, dude.
That was really loud. Sorry, guys.
How We Do. Remember that song, How We Do?
You can play it for me after.
All right, cool. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I got for that.
Yeah, surround yourself by positive people that are, if you are trying to work towards bettering yourself, then surround yourself by other people that are also trying to better themselves. Because you are 90% of the people that you surround yourself with. What's that quote?
Wow, dude. That was bad. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Okay, that was close.
Yep. I do have more, but we have reached my cap for the night because I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But
that was kind of fun. I like that, actually.
it was kind of fun.
Just ripping off topics like that. It was good.
All right, I got one more.
What do you got?
You want one more?
Yeah.
Bonus round. Hopefully baby doesn't cry. I'm reading PBD's next 5 moves. Your next 5 moves. He makes a point in there. This I believe to be so stinking true. You make big goals, okay? You make a goal, whatever. That goal can seem very daunting.
Yeah.
Make the goal. Mm-hmm. Remind yourself of the goal every day.
Faith.
Right? Faith. But fuck the goal. The goal, whatever. Know your goal. Say your goal every day. Okay? Mm-hmm. The goal is daunting. Drop it all the way down to the littlest first step. Mm-hmm. Do that. And just set out your steps. And you won't even get all the steps there. Because how would you know all the steps to get there?
Probably don't.
Necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
right? You just got to be like, well, here's the first 15 things that are going to get me towards that goal. Mm-hmm. So now I just got to start hitting these 15 things. And as you're hitting them, you go, okay, I need to keep repeating 10 of these 15 things. And now my next steps are and then you do those, right?
Yeah.
And so to come back to like tying all this shit in together, to come back to like career, bettering yourself, whatever, like enjoying your life, but being intentional, set your big goals, faith every day to remind yourself of those goals, reverse engineer, get your first 5, 10, 15 steps, start executing those steps. Bomb. Don't complete the 15 without making more steps. Does that make sense?
Smart, yeah.
Like if you're 10 steps deep, you got to go, okay, what are the other 10 I got to add on? So that way you don't get to. The biggest thing is this, and this is anywhere you go, anything you do. When I sold Stable Living, I called and I talked to a dude about this that sold a business and proceeded to spend 90% of the money he made from selling his business because of this one very, very important thing. He didn't know his next step.
Makes sense.
You never can't know your next step.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yep. So don't ever sell a business without a plan. That's what the first thing he told me. He said, if you're going to sell your business, what are you doing? I said, XYZ. He said, okay, good. Then you can sell your business.
That is so smart, like, because that makes me think about, like, you do, like, write a list of what your to-dos are for tonight.
Yeah.
That's so smart because then you're starting off the day knowing, like, this is what I need to do, and, like, you don't have to think about it.
Right.
Because as soon as you give yourself any bit of, like, time to doubt or let distractions or anything come in, it destroys your day. But if you already have your day planned out, done.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense and stuff, and I love it, and I think people should do it.
Yeah. Cool. One real quick thing. Mimi has really hairy elbows.
Yes, she does, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She's so cute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of dogs have bald elbows, don't they?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some dogs with bald elbows.
But, like, the rest of her legs are, like, really hairless. But
and her tummy.
And her elbows are very hairy.
She's so cute.
She is. Okay, guys. That's what I got for today.
Peace.
See ya.